Good afternoon. This is Jenny at Gemini Crafts, based in Northamptonshire in the UK. Welcome to this Facebook Live video. Thank you so much for joining me. This is the second of 4 parts of videos featuring the Stampin' Up punches. So yesterday was an introduction to using our punches. And these come in various forms, whether they're just plain shapes or whether they're flowers that match stamp sets, all sorts of combinations. And yesterday I did just some basics on using the punches and also on how to make a small punch create a larger piece of card. That didn't make any sense. So this one here, for example, if I find the one it comes from, I actually tidied up my punches yesterday. Hi Jeanette. Hi Jacqueline. So this was the punch that I used yesterday, and what I did was I created this punch out, which as you can see is larger than the original punched slot. So if you want to see how that was done, you can pop back and replay yesterday's video. All of the videos will be linked up on YouTube after the week. Hi lovely Lynn. And you can go and visit those there, and there's a watch list, so you can click on the first one and it will take you through each one in turn. So that's what we did yesterday. Today I want to talk about some of our different punches. Let's put that back in my nicely organised case. I will take a photograph actually of my punches so you can see, because I did mention how I stored them yesterday. So I will do that, especially now I've tidied them up. One of the other things we talked about yesterday was how to make punches smaller. So this one here also comes from that same punch. Okay, so you wouldn't believe that they were one and the same, but in fact they are. So as I say, you can rewind those at your leisure. So what I want to talk to you about are 3 different punches today. The first 2 are very similar and completely interchangeable. These are our tag topper punches. And we have 2. So there's this one here, and it's really difficult with the silver shining. I do apologise, but this has a decorative top and a hole, and that will punch a tag top for you. I'll show you this with a plain piece of card. It'll be easier. Hi Carol. And then this one here is the same thing, but with a slot for ribbon rather than a hole. And then both of them have this channel, and that's where your card will slide in. And this one here actually has 3 different sizes of channels: a 1 inch, a 1.5 and a 2 inch. So what I'll do is I'll just cut some card and you can see those. Now this piece of paper here I've literally just stamped all over. Not quite finished, I would add a few more mitts on, but just want to show you how to make some quick and easy bookmarks. So I didn't need to do the stamping in front of you because you've seen me do that. So that's just ready, rather than just work on some plain card, which is very dull and boring. So let me show you how this first one works. Now the nice thing about this and any of our tag toppers is you can adjust the length of the tag even. So let me just cut 3 up. So I've just got my paper trimmer here at the side. This actually might be, that's 1 inch, so that's handy. We'll use that one. No, actually I'll do it in plain card. It's a bit difficult to see. So here's a 1 inch, and that fits in that slot there, if you can see that. Then I'm going to do a 1.5 inch. Sorry, this is slightly off your covering up what I was doing. So 1.5 and then 2 inches. Now you can do, hi Marlene, you can do anything, any sizes in between of these really. You can go larger, but it doesn't get the effect that I want, but you can put a larger piece in. So let me just show you how this particular one works to start with. So it has this design at the top, and like all the other ones, it has a locking mechanism. Okay, I hope you can see that okay. This one is currently £22. You can slide this piece in, so this is the 1 inch piece, slide it in the channel until it stops. Heel of the hand, and there you've got the edge. Let me just get a piece of, I think this will do, my mat. Rather dirty, but it will do the job. So this is the end of that 1 inch strip. Okay, you can decide how long you want your tag to be, and you could be using this for a sentiment, for example, and if that was the case, what I would do is stamp that and then cut it and put it back in. But I'm just going to put this back in at the other side, and there we've got a tag, quite elongated, but you could easily put that against a card. If this was your card on a card base, you could quite easily have that as a layer if you wanted to. So that is, oh hi Anne-Marie, that is the 1 inch strip. I'm actually going to pick a different colour so that you can see the other layers a bit better. How's life in Canada, Anne-Marie? There we go. Right, I'm going to select this piece. Hi Jane. I'm going to select this one in 1.5 inches, just so you've got a contrast. I'm just doing it off camera, sorry. Okay, so this one is 1.5 inches. So if I bring our punch back in, hi Babsy, and slide it in that channel. Now if it's just very slightly over, that's fine. If it's slightly under, that's also fine. No snow this morning. Oh gosh, bless you. No, it's quite breezy, quite dry. Probably about 20 degrees centigrade here. Maybe a little bit less. Okay, so now I've got another layer going on here. Hi Julie. And then if I take my 2 inch one, I can do the same thing. Yeah, it's really pleasant out there today. And then there's the third layer. So you can get those 3 edges all from one punch. Okay, just by changing the size of those. You think it was a new one? Bless you. So we do have a new one coming up, which is very clever, even cleverer than this. But it's a really good, useful punch. As I say, it does the 3 different sizes, and you can make it smaller as well. So you could make it 3/4 of an inch, and you just get those little bits cut off. What you would need to do is just make sure you centralise them. I don't know if you can see that little panel there. There's 2 little dots on either side, and you can centre a smaller piece. So if I just do that, just to show you, get the right size. There we go. So they do represent great value for money, our punches. Eventually the punches can go blunt, and I will talk about how you can sharpen them, because they are metal obviously, and they're cutting metal against metal. I've had to do that on 1 or 2 punches that I've used a lot. So what I'm doing now, this is the 3/4 inch one, and I'm lining it up in the centre of that middle channel like so. And And there you are, you've got a different layer again. Hi Babsy, I hope you're well. Okay, so that is this detailed punch. As I say, it's got the channels in, just makes it really nice and easy. And as you can see, you can get 4 different shapes by using different widths of card. Okay, now what you could do is just cut these up in increments, and then you'd have a really nice, almost like a set of nested dies. Okay, so if you don't have a die cutting machine, this could be a way of getting yourself some dies of different sizes just by using different widths and obviously different lengths. So that's that one there. And then the other one we have, this one here is exactly the same, except it has a different topper and it doesn't have the channel. So you can change the sizes easily, but you just have to centre them yourself rather than... oh, excellent. So it's Babsy's birthday today, everybody. Bless her. I'm very impressed that you're spending some of your birthday with me. Bless you. So with this one here, let me grab a 2-inch piece. I'm done with my pieces of card now. There we go. And I actually like to cut, if I'm using the large width, I actually like to cut it at 5 centimetres. Because that's very slightly... Oh, thank you, Anne-Marie. That's happy birthday to Babsy. Hi Tasilla. It's very slightly narrower than the slot, so it goes in really easily. So this is 5 centimetres. Okay, up to the top. You do need to unlock it first, otherwise it's not going anywhere. Like so. Heel of the hand, and there you've got your topper. So you can use these for lots of different things. You could just make a simple tag. Oh, it's your birthday as well, Marlene. Oh, wow, that's 3 people I know that's birthday is today. So Babsy from our team, Susan from our team. The cat's just joined us. Just going to move him over a bit. Or not. You can see the birds out the front. Oh, well, happy birthday. Oh, bless you, Babsy. I'm trying to move the cat out of the way. You're going to have a tail flinging here every so often. So what we could do for this one, if we just wanted a really simple tag, is just to cut that off. So for example here, if I just wanted a gift tag, just measuring that at, for example, at 9 centimetres. And there you've got a simple tag. You could round the corners. I don't know if you remember seeing me use this trio punch that rounds the corners. So what I can do here is just pop this right in, punch it in the centre. I'm turning it over again, punching again, and there you've got a nice rounded tag. And you could do that in multiple colours and then just thread some ribbon through, and then you've got a really nice gift tag. So that'd be easy to do. These ones here, what you could do is cut this one and put it back in the other side, which is what I was talking about. So let me just do that. Just cutting that a bit smaller. I'm not worrying too much about where I'm positioning it, just so you can see the finished thing really. The cat's back again. Let me open the window. That's what he wants. He likes to sit in the window. Let me move him. Excuse me, this is Zach. Right, there we go. Sorry about that. These are carrying through. Yes, definitely. I went through all of my punches yesterday and took out the ones that are retiring. So all of these are carrying through. So that one there, you could now add some ribbon round on either side and then put a little label in the centre, maybe punched out with the classic label. Hello Brenda, lovely to see you. One of the other things you can do is use this to create a belly band around a project, and you do that by cutting the length that you want and pushing it in on both sides. So I'll just put this one back in. This is my 1.5 inch punch, like so. And then if you had a small card, let me just go and grab, see if I've got a small one here. This one might be a bit big. It will do for this. It's not ideal, I wouldn't choose this colour or anything, but to show you how you can make a belly band for this. Oh, hi Karen, lovely to see you. Really nice, thank you. Another Canadian. So, this one opens up like this. This was from my class in a box for last month. So I have a new class in a box come out for the UK now. But if you wanted a belly band around this one, what you could do is just position it on your strip of card and then just literally fold and fold. Don't make it too tight because you know, you want a little bit of gap, a little bit of give. Okay, and then you could put just a little bit of ribbon through there and put the band together. So if I did it like that, okay, I know you wouldn't do it and cover this one up particularly. Let me just see if I've got a better example. Because I won't be able to find one if I want one, will I? I'm looking for a gatefold card. This one. This one is perfect. Okay, so ignore that one. Okay, so this is my shutter card. Let's get it the right way around. Sending cards. This was also our in our class in a box last month. It opens like that. And then what I could do, because I haven't got anything on the front of that, is I could create that as a belly band, like so, and just add a little bit of ribbon. So let me get some ribbon and show you. You can hear my birds outside. Well, not my birds, the birds. Okay, I've just got a little bit of green ribbon. It's not the right colour particularly, but it will do the job. Oh, bless you, Marin. Well, we've only just started, so you're absolutely fine. So we're talking about punches again today. I can't remember. I think you joined us for yesterday's. So what you can just do with this belly band is thread some ribbon through one side to the other, like so, and then just tie that in a little bow. So it makes a nice closing for a card, especially a gatefold card or something where it could normally sort of open up on its own. Let me trim those bits off. Try not to go through that bit at the top. There we go. So there we have our belly band, which slides up and down, and then it ties with a bow. So you could just slide the whole thing off and use it on the card, or you could undo the ribbon and then you get to see the card inside. Okay, so you know, whichever way around you want to do it. So that's using the tag topper punch to create a belly band, like so. You can make that any size that you've got. Okay, and the gap in the middle doesn't really matter. So just sort of manually. The blackbird's going mad outside. You can probably hear them. Okay, let me show you one other thing you can do with this before I do some proper making, really. Okay. The mother blackbird is telling the babies that the cat is around. You can probably hear that. Okay, so I've just got a piece of card here, and this is a great idea for a little gift. Punch the end, and then, this is probably a bit long actually. Which one did I use? That one there. Okay, so punch both ends like that, and then you're going to score at an equal distance from the middle. Okay, so you can do it accurately or you can do it manually. Let's have a quick look. See if I can do it. Half and half. So this whole thing is just about 8 inches. So 4 would be my halfway point. So I'm going to score it at 3 and 3. So I'm just going to use my scoring blade here. 3 from that side and 3 from that side, like so. Okay, and now I've got 2 score lines here. So what I can do is fold on there, and make a little gift bag, for want of a better description. And then in there, you could either put a chocolate, or you could put a couple of tea bags and thread some ribbon through the top. Normally I have something to hand. Let's say I've got one of these. These are our little mini ink pads. Okay, so what you could do is just put a glue dot on either side. Let's just do that. So it doesn't matter what this is. This just could be little Easter egg or something like that. I know we're past Easter, but I'll just grab that. Just going to put one each of those on the base of this Stampin' Spot. So these are our little ink pads. So they're about 1 inch square. Okay, and then all I'm going to do is put my Stampin' Spot on there, push it down so it's attached, and then I could just put some ribbon through there, if you can see that then, and then you've got a nice little gift. It's like a little purse almost. Let me grab, so look for some more ribbon. This one will do. So this one here, I know it doesn't match it exactly, but it will do it. So we can then thread this through like so. And tie a knot and a bow if we wish. We could add our little tag that we made. And obviously this could be designer paper, so I've done it just on plain card. But you could do this with some lovely designer paper, couldn't you? There we go. A nice little gift. So that makes a nice little table favour. So if you've got people round, when we have people back round for afternoon tea, you could make little favours. Very easy. You could just use a chocolate. It could be, so here I've got another one, so I could make sort of two, put two together, like so. And yeah, just makes a nice little gift. And that's using, you could use either of the tag topper punches. You do probably want it to be the full width, which is just under 2 inches, but you could do them smaller if you wanted to, but you want it fairly stable base, so make sure your base is larger than your gift inside. Okay, so that is using the 2 tag toppers. Now you've seen me make bookmarks before, but I'll just show you how easy it is when you've got the tag punch here. So I literally just stamped this all the way over just as I was setting up to come on live, so it's not particularly inspiring, but it's a very pretty set of flowers, that's for sure. That's from my favourite stamp set, Beautiful Friendship. If you love florals, that is the one to get. So I'm just making this a little bit smaller, so just under the 2 inches, like so. Okay, now I can add some bits and pieces to that if I want to, but I'm not doing a stamping session. I'm just doing a punching session. So you can choose whichever one of these punches you want to use. So this is the detailed one. Sliding that in, make sure it goes right the way to the top, and punch it. And there you've got a really easy bookmark. You can add your ribbon in the same way, so, or I could add double. Thank you, Marlene. I could do double ribbon. Let me just find the other green one. So this is Old Olive and Calypso Coral. So I'm just going to do a double bow on that one. If you're doing this at home and wanted to save ribbon, then tie it first before you cut it. But that happened to be an offcut, so I'm quite happy with that. So you can either just put them in together like so and tie them in a bow. There are lots of different ways that you can do this. This one here that you could then tie in a bow. And I've just put the 2 ribbons together, but you can then sort of separate them once you've tied it. Oh, hi Bridie. That's okay. You're allowed to be late. And then if you pull a different colour one of these, then you'll get the bows in different sizes, if that makes sense. So you can have a bigger coral and a smaller green, or vice versa. Okay, I'll just trim those off. As I say, if you're doing this at home and you wanted to save ribbon, don't cut the ribbon before you tie your bow, and that way then if you make a mistake you can go back and re-tie it, no problem at all. So that makes a really quick bookmark, and obviously you can stamp that, you can put messages on, you can personalise it with somebody's name, and again we can use our trio punch around these corners. And you could also use the decorative little punch there as well. Hi Joe, have you given up sorting out your tack room? It's a big job, regardless of how much tack you have. It's always a big job. Okay, so there we go. There's our bookmark. Okay, and all created with that tag topper at the top here. So either this one or this one here. Okay, sorry, you can't see the imprint of that particularly well, I know. So there's that one. That's called the detail tag. And then this is our tag just called Tag Topper Punch, I think. Okay, so that's those two. And also we covered this one just in passing. So another tag we have in a similar design is this one here. And this is a triple banner punch. Oh, okay, that's good. So, again, we've unlocked it here. And like the other one, you have 3 channels. Okay, so if I take my 1-inch, let me just chop the end of this off. Okay, if I take my 1-inch strip and pop it in, again push it right to the top, what it's going to do is cut out this V shape. Okay, so you get that. I can do it with anything up to the 2 inches. Oh, push it right the way in, Jenny. That's what happens when you don't push it right the way in. There we go. So can you see that's building up these little V shapes? You can do sizes in between and sizes smaller, okay, just by positioning it in and holding it in place. Obviously, if you're in between these, you just have to be a little bit more careful, but you don't just have to use the 3 widths it gives you. So what this allows you to do is build up some really nice little banners. So what I'm going to do is put a card together using these little banners. And so you can do those obviously in all sizes, exactly as we did before. So there's my bookmark. So this is my my sheet from my One Sheet Wonder, which I've just stamped in pinks and yellows and coral using Beautiful Friendship. So I'm just going to trim that down and find a card to put it onto. I'll use this one. This is Flirty Flamingo. Just going to manually score that. Okay, just going to cut a piece of this and work out which bit I'm going to use. This bit. This bit, nothing much in it, is there? Nothing in it at all. Let me just cut this piece here. So our trimmer has a scoring blade and a cutting blade. And our standard size, and I will do a sheet, I know I promised one for you, Carol, I do apologise, of the different measurements of cards. So our normal card size measures 14.85 centimetres. So I'm just going to come down by ½ centimetre. Like that, because I can make another one out of that. And then it's 10.5 centimetres in width, so I'm going to make that 10, like so. There we go, so there's my piece there. If I wanted to, I could add a few extra bits and pieces, but it's only there as a sample really, rather than just use some plain paper. So this is going to go onto here, like so. And then what I'm going to do is create a banner like so. Not going to use this colour, with a sentiment on it. So it just goes to show that you can do it just with a punch. As much as I love dies and things like that, if you don't have a die cutting machine, then you know, this is going to do the job for you just as well. So let me just get a scrap of white and find a sentiment. actually just going to use. No, it's got a bit of a mark on it. There we go. This one will do. Let's see. Oh, that's perfect. Big congratulations and best wishes to you. Be perfect for any of my lovely birthday ladies. Let me grab Calypso Coral, I think, to go with that, and a block, like so. So I'm just going to stamp it, cut it, and then make it into a little banner. So I'm just going to put it slightly along because I don't know how long I'm going to make my other banner. There we go. And thinking this is 1 inch, so I'm going to cut that to be 3/4. Like so. Is anybody else like me? Your space available gets less and less and less as you're working. It's getting smaller and smaller and smaller. There we go. So there's my piece. So what I could do is just obviously... Oh, absolutely. Anne-Marie, getting very excited. So our we start here at 5 o'clock for our first on tour. Excuse, that's not what I wanted, that's that one there. 5 o'clock is our first on tour, that's with Sarah online. But looking forward to that. And I'm doing the English session tomorrow morning, that 11 o'clock UK time, but that probably doesn't help you, does it? Okay, so what I'm going to do is do a banner on this end. Let me know which ones you're going to, Anne-Marie. I'll look out for you. Especially the networking. Oh, that was a bit close, wasn't it? I'm going to stamp that again. Can you see? I wasn't looking where I was punching that. And I've gone right up to the end. Okay, so let me turn that over. Put it that way so I know it's right. And stamp that one again. Oh, excellent, Anne-Marie. Then I will see you somewhere online 11 o'clock tomorrow. So for my customers who are watching, Stampin' Up would normally have a big event in person at this time to release the new catalogue. But obviously we can't meet up. Oh, 11, yes, mountain time, sorry. Yes, it would be a different one. Oh, I'm not doing very well today. Let me just see if I can overstamp that. So, yes, so we'd normally be meeting in person to look at the catalogue and everything, but obviously with the restrictions we can't. So Stampin' Up have taken the whole thing online. Yep, that didn't work. Let me do another one, guys. Concentrate, Jenny. Right. Third time lucky, everybody. That'll teach me for talking about something else. Right, let's put this a bit further down. There. Go. Yes, I'm looking forward to it too. We get to see new products being used, everybody, and we have a new catalogue that comes out in June for you as customers, May for us, so we have a copy of it now, and there's lots of lovely new products in there to look forward to. You won't be disappointed, I promise you. Okay, let's give this one a go. So It's not just you. It's not just you, Bridie. Right, so got this the right way around. I'm just going to turn this over and do it manually. Like so. There we are. Now I could leave that bit in there if I wanted to. Or I could mimic the same thing. Or I could cut the whole thing off, which is I think that's my gut feeling. So what I'm going to do is pop that onto there and then cut it and then put the card together. Let me just put that away. Did you see, I can't remember if you saw our video yesterday, Bridie. I don't remember seeing you online, but you might have seen it subsequently, which was how to make punches bigger, punch shapes bigger than they actually are. So I'm going to pop this onto there and then cut it. So I'm just going to use, I've got wet glue and I've got snail. Oh, hi Jane. Jane has joined us. I don't know if that's before you're going to work, Jane, or after, or whether you're off today, I don't know. Okay, so yeah, have a look. I mean, you may well know already how to make a punch bigger than it actually appears. So I'm just going to cut this one manually. I don't know if to cut it with an angle. No, I'll do it like that. Okay, just decide which way around I want this. As I said, it's just literally one I've thrown together, so it's I would probably fill it in a little bit more than that. Okay, so there's my base card. This is actually Flirty Flamingo, even though I've stamped in Calypso Coral. There we go. And then this is going to go onto there. I'm just going to use some dimensionals for that. I'm going to finish off today with some hints and tips about punches, what happens when they don't work as you expect them to, and how to get around it. Okay, make sure that's the right way round, and I'm going to put that right to the edge, I think, like so. There we go. Thank you. I literally just stamped it before we came on, so it was a bit slightly haphazard, but it does the job. So this could be a 3-part set, couldn't it? So you could have the card, you could have the matching bookmark, and then the matching little gift tag. So let me see if I can create that with this other piece here, and then we would have a matching set all together. So I'm just going to cut that to 2 inches, just underneath. I say 5 centimetres I prefer to use, because it just is a smidgen, literally a smidgen smaller. There we go. And so this is going to be 8 inches again, isn't it? So I'm going to score it at 3 and 3. Just moving that out of the way. So I'm not cutting into it. Oh, that's okay, Jeanette. Glad you liked it. I'm sure it's nothing new to you. I'm sure you've seen that before. So let's just put this end on here. So I'm just going to slide this in. Same on this one. Okay, move those out of the way. fold these up like so. Okay, we can put our gift inside there and then tie a ribbon on. So let me take the ribbon off that one. Now I have to go and find some chocolates or something to put in, don't I? There we go. There we go. There we go. So you could have chocolate, you could have some tea bags in there, all sorts of things. As long as it's got a flattish bottom, and if not, you can make a little edge for it, little shelf rather, if it was an egg or something. Chocolate egg, I'm thinking, by the way, girls. My mind. It's chocolate. There we go. Okay, so using those two punches, we've got a little holder here for something, as I say, tea bags or Stampin' Spots. We've got a bookmark with the matching top, and then we've got a card with the banner end. And also you could do lots of those layers as well. I've just done two, but you could do a lot more than that. So there we go, some uses of the punches. And the nice thing about these is that they're open-ended. So these could be, you know, 12 by 12 sheet of paper that you're using, as well as A4 or anything else that you've cut up to be smaller. So a couple of things about our punches. I'll leave those there. Okay, so when you open the punch, you slide this piece up here and the punch opens. And then when you want to lock it again, and the locking is just for storage, you don't have to lock it. So if you have dexterity issues, there's nothing to stop you leaving your punches like that or storing them like that. Okay? Nothing to stop you at all, but they do store better when they're folded down. Now occasionally what happens, and I'm trying to find one that I can force apart, which is not always easy to do. Let me find a really loose one, because this does happen fairly frequently. Oh, this is quite loose. This is quite an old one. It's got my old label on. So occasionally what happens, if this is really loose, this piece here, it's locked when it's down at the bottom, okay, and it works up occasionally. So if it works down, okay, and you're working on it and you don't realise, and you go to press it, sometimes this whole thing will pop out. And of course I'm not going to be able to get it to do that. I'll try to force it. No, let me do it manually. But believe you me, they can pop out, especially if they're very loose, because what happens is this little handle piece gets pushed in and popped out on the other side. Does that make sense? I haven't even... So I've got one that's done that. Let me have a look. Ah, I have one here. Perfect. Okay, this is the only one that hasn't got a handle on. So what happens is that little thing pops out the bottom. This is actually from the Gingerbread Man set. There's also a snow set that goes with that. Can't believe I still have this. This will actually be up for sale if anybody's after it. So what happens is this little piece here hops out. Okay, so what you need to do is just pop this back in, but if you put it in the wrong way, then it stops you being able to close it. So what I'm going to try and do is force this one out, and they do take a fair bit of they'll take a fair bit of punishment. I shouldn't have put, I had one yesterday, I shouldn't have put it back in, should I? Because I want to show you which way to put it back in. Let me see if I can... Oh, Oh, typical, isn't it? How can you make something not work when you want it to not work? No. See, they're all just pushing back. Sorry. But if I had a spare one, basically the piece that comes out has, you might be able to see it on here, has a flat side here and a gap on the other side, and it's the flat side that needs to go in with the narrower side of your punch. That's okay, Sam. I'm trying to force a punch to break and I can't make it break. Let's see if I can. No. Usually what happens is people do that and then they force it down and then it pushes out and they think they've broken it, but they haven't. Anyway, so this piece here comes out and there's a flat side, and it's the flat side that you want to put back in, and you sort of have to angle it. Let me see if I can pop it out. Sorry, I should have had one ready broken, shouldn't I? If I can get one to break, I can show you again. Oh, I can't believe that. So you just want, it wants to go in at an angle, but they're so well made that they don't really want to come out the wrong way. I might be able to get this one. It's got a little lip on it. Sorry everybody, it's off camera. No, I'm not going to be able to force it. Sorry. When my next one goes, because they do occasionally, I will show you how to do it. But if it pops out, don't worry. Let me know. I can help you sort it. Oh dear, epic fail. Okay, so that's one thing, is that the little thing can hop out. So just put it back in flat side and it'll work and lock again. One of the other things that people do when they're punching, because we want to be frugal with our pieces of paper, if I take a small circular punch, for example this one here, okay, so you punch a few, you'll pull it through, punch a few, and the temptation is to punch really close to the next one, okay? Don't punch it too close, because if you do, then what happens, instead of having a flat piece of card to work on, this tiny little bit gets folded in and then gets jammed on the side of the punch, because obviously you need a bit of a gap between each punch. I mean, this one worked, but if you have it so narrow, it can fold over, and then what happens is this gets stuck in the punch. It's like that, and the punch won't move one way or the other. And the easiest way to solve that, certainly in the UK, it may be different in other places, is to put the punch and the card in the freezer. Because what happens is the punch is made of metal, and the metal will contract with the cold, and then what it does is it releases the punch it part itself. Okay, so what you can do is literally pop it in the freezer, half an hour or so. Whatever you do when you get it out, don't touch the metal, okay? Don't want any freezer burns. And what that can do is that can release the punch from its motion. Okay, you can also tap it on the work surface or on a tile or outside in the garden on the concrete. Okay, they're robust. As you can see, this one I've had, this is probably one of the earliest punches I had, along with the other one, because it had an old label on it. And the other thing is, if you can see here, this edge is quite ragged, and that means that the punch needs sharpening. And there's two ways that I use for sharpening my punches. Just using household products, just tidying these away. So one is to take a piece of foil and fold it 6 or 7 times and then punch through the foil itself. Okay, so by punching through the metal, okay, you can actually sharpen this blade. Now, the foil on its own obviously is quite soft. You don't have to use the really strong foil. You can also use thin sandpaper. That will also do the job. And what you can do is take a piece of card and wrap your foil around it so that it's got a bit of substance to it, and then push that, put that through the punch. Bear in mind, it can't be any thicker than the gap of the punch, and all of our punches have that same size gap in them. Okay, and then the other way, which is really effective, is to take a soft drinks can and cut that up. Now, I know it sounds quite dramatic, but if you take something like, I don't know, a Diet Coke or a Pepsi or any of those aluminium cans, if you just take literally a pair of scissors to them or a craft knife to the top, you can just literally unfold the can. And, hi Claire, and then it just comes out as a sheet of metal. It's quite pliable. Just mind your fingers on the edges, because obviously they can be quite sharp. And then just literally use that piece of aluminium and punch all the way through, a good sort of 10 or 12 punches until it's sharp again. And then that will stop the sort of any fuzzy edges. Occasionally you'll find a little edge. I'm just watching the blackbirds in the garden, so sorry to go away from the normal routine, but so the bees have been in the garden, and they are minor bees, and they burrow in the ground, and the blackbirds have discovered this, and I can see the blackbirds are just waiting for them to pop up, and then they're just nipping them. There you go. So that's the end of the natural history lesson for today. So sharpen them. Use foil folded over lots of times, or use a soft drinks can, an aluminium can it needs to be. It's really soft and easy to cut. I don't have one to hand, otherwise I would show you. I might try and get one and I can show you tomorrow. And then you can sharpen them, and then your punches should last, you know, effectively forever. Okay, obviously if they get very damp, because they are metal, you know, you don't want them to get damp and rusty, so you do need to keep them dry. But you can store them, as I say, anyway. You can store them open like that if you don't like to keep locking them, or you can store them, you know, whichever way around. I will take a photograph of my storage just to show you how I store mine. I don't have any sophisticated storage. I just use what I have around the house. So mine is a CD holder. So I will photograph that and show you, add that here on my Facebook page. Right, I've whittled on enough. Goodness me, it's gone 4 o'clock. I do apologise. So I hope that's been useful, today's section on punches. So using our punches to create these banners, to create a bookmark with rounded edges, and also a little gift box bag or something, whatever you want it to be, and also a belly band for a card or a pack of cards. Hi Tracy, sorry Tracy, we are just wrapping up, but you'll be able to watch us on replay very shortly, so I do apologise. So thank you so much for joining me. Tomorrow's session is 10 o'clock in the morning, Wednesday, and I will be looking at making flowers from circular punches and also other shaped punches. So I hope you're able to join me tomorrow at 10 o'clock. Thank you all for following me. If you've been here live, thank you very much. If you're catching us on replay, I appreciate it. Feel free to leave any questions or comments, and I'll try and answer those and get back to you. if you've got anything specific you need to ask me, you can always just message me if you prefer. So thanks very much for joining me. All the punches I've used today are all carrying over, so there's no issue with getting hold of any of those if you want to. Thank you so much indeed, everybody. Lovely to see you from wherever you are. Thank you to our Canadian viewers today, and to my team and to my lovely customers and people